now we're going to move into a fun segment where we're going to talk about joy in history. Crimson, would you like to go first or would you like me to go first?
I am happy to go first. I love this
All
one.
right.
And while it's joy in history, I gotta be honest, mine is kind of like current. It's about someone's past. So, what I am bringing to us today is the story of Stephen Colbert. Do you know the tragedy of his life?
I do.
I did not know this. Stephen Colbert lost his brothers, both brothers, and his dad when he was 10 years old in a plane accident, in a passenger plane, leaving him to be a single, a only child with his mom. I had no idea that this was part of his past. I thought of him because he represents so much joy. He has spent his life sharing joy. And we wanted to talk about the duality and the importance of the darkness and the light of joy. And I found this quote from him, and he said, I love the thing that I most wish had not happened because it gave him a perspective that brought so much more joy to his life. So he's not saying that he's glad that they died. He's not saying that joy is an outcome of pain, but he's saying that you're allowed to feel joy even in the midst of pain and tragedy. And I just can't help to think because that man has brought so much joy to this world and had that moment when he was 10 not been one where he looked for the joy and the gratitude of having his mom and the closeness of the relationship and how these things shaped him, the whole world would have missed out. So
Yeah.
it was just really inspiring because it's a perfect model of the joy audit and what we're bringing today. Because it just would have been a shame if he wouldn't have leaned into the joy. Because I think he'll be remembered in history as someone that brought a lot of joy to many of us.
Yeah, it's quite a story. And when he talks about it, it's like he really engages. He really brings his full emotional experience to the story. And I think that also speaks to a level of personal work for him to be able to stay regulated enough to share this part of his story and to share how his feelings towards it have developed and changed over time. That's the work. When we talk about doing the work, that's the healing work that we're talking about is understanding its integration. And again, it's not that he likes it or he's glad that this happened. It's an acceptance, a radical acceptance of what is.
Every time I see him speak, like when research this, he also talks about it with genuine joy.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. No, I
to your
know. Like you
point,
can
like
really feel.
you feel the sense of contentment. And I think you're right. Like, if we had to have a poster child for the emotional endurance movement, he really embodies that. He really embodies a lot of what we're saying. The ability to stay regulated allows you to see the joy. And I think it's beautiful. I thought it was a beautiful story. Life throws lemons at you. He got a lot, losing your dad and brothers at 10 years old and a whole life and identity. It's beyond tragedy. Tragedy can ruin lives. I mean, we know at 10 years old, that kind of tragedy
Mhm.
can completely alter the trajectory of your life. But for him,
But
it didn't
post-traumatic
all.
growth is a true phenomenon. Yeah.
I love that post-traumatic growth. And that's what he did with his tragedy. And so I thought it was beautiful. I know it's recent history, but I think it's going to be historic.
Well, she's actually recent history as well. So we're in good company. But I wanted to talk about Miss Dolly Parton today because to me,
Aw.
she is someone who is always exemplifying finding joy wherever you find yourself. She was born in 1946, the fourth of 12 children. Her family was so poor, her dad paid the doctor who delivered her with a sack of cornmeal. The day after she graduated high school, she got on a bus to Nashville and never looked back. And in the 60 years since, she's written over 3,000 songs, including Jolene, 9 to 5, and I Will Always Love You. She's won 11 Grammys, been inducted into both the Rock and Roll Music Hall of Fame and the Country Music Hall of Fame. She built Dollywood in the same mountains she grew up in, which I would love to go there. Maybe we could make a field trip and go there someday.
Absolutely.
And she made, and this is the thing I've appreciated so much from her, the Imagination Library, which has mailed more than 200 million free books to children around the world. Here's the thing about Dolly. None of it came from an easy life. It all came from a woman who decided somewhere in a one-room cabin in East Tennessee, where she learned the values of love and creativity and lightness, that joy was something you make and tend to. And then she spent her whole life proving it, leaving us a legacy of rhinestones and literacy. Dolly Parton to me is just such a great example of this. And actually, she has a couple things she wants to say. So hold on one second. How's my wig? Is it rocking?
It might be a little bit more TJ than Dolly, but go for it. Remember the wigs that they wore, like
What's TJ?
Thomas Jefferson? Gets your hairs in the back, you know?
All right, sorry, Dolly, that my wig is more Thomas Jefferson than Dolly Parton, but let's go. Hey, everybody. Now I know what you're thinking. And yes, it costs a lot of money to look this cheap. Indeed. Now, let me tell you a little bit about Joy, honey, because I'm an expert. I was born in the fourth of 12 kids in a one-room cabin, and the doctor who delivered me was paid in a sack of cornmeal. No, but it was good cornmeal. I've been turning lemons into lemonade since birth. I wrote Jolene and I Will Always Love You on the same day. Some folks just have a good Tuesday, and I wrote 2 mega hits in one day. My nails are credited as an instrument on 9 to 5 because that typewriter sound is me, baby. I find joy in my own fingertips. I once lost a Dolly Parton lookalike contest to a drag queen, and I still had the time of my life. That is a true story.
I know it is. She's amazing.
I get up 3 a.m. every single day. Some people call that discipline. I call it being too excited to sleep. I've got a secret song locked in a box at Dollywood that nobody can open till 2045. That's right. I sent my own future self a gift of joy. And now here's what Dolly wants you to remember most this week. Find out what brings you joy and do it on purpose. Bye-bye now.
That is great. Dolly, Dolly.
My impression skills are not the best. But I think it was great that Dolly wanted to come by and speak to this, because I do think she's really an icon in so many ways. But this is one of the biggest, is that she took her experience and found ways to creatively build an empire and then share it back with people so that they didn't have to experience the same hardships that she saw in her community. And she has made a huge difference to literacy. Probably not as much of a difference as I'm going to make with that really sad impression.